Hello everybody, hope you've been well. I am just doing a little recap. Nothing too drastic is happening, but had COVID, finished all of my antiviral medication, and the taste in my mouth finished, or it's like gone now, which is just fantastic because that taste was awful. And I've still got like a lingering cough, a phlegmy cough, so I'm still bringing stuff up, which I'm not entirely sure if it's all COVID related, if it's still like radiation effects related. I don't know, but I've still got that going on. But I had a phone appointment with my heme yesterday, day before yesterday, and my PET scan is booked in for next month, so June, and she was asking me if I've got any like symptoms that have come back or anything, and I was like, actually there's a few that have come back. So my body is very itchy, and my feet, it's not a constant itch with my feet, but when they do get itchy, it's like this intense itchy feeling. The constant need to clear my throat, that came back about a month after chemo. So chemo finished December, and the feeling was back within a month. So that's there. I've got those head pains coming back, those sharp ones. My scalp is very dry, flaky and itchy, and it's got like a few little spots at the back, at the lower part. And then my finger, this is really weird, and they're kind of not really there at the moment. But before I got diagnosed, I had these weird like blistery things on one of my fingers, only one finger, and I never thought much of them. They kind of looked like, they weren't a wart, but they looked a little bit like a wart, and sometimes they also looked like a blister. So like if you'd pick them or pop them or something, it would ooze like that clear stuff like a blister. Anyway, that's starting to come back, which is really random, and I never thought about it before I was diagnosed. But yeah, I was like saying to my heme, I was like, I don't know if this is all just, you know, coincidental, or if I've got some other kind of underlying skin condition that the chemo wiped out, or, you know, if this could potentially be some kind of, I don't know, relapse, I suppose. So we thought we'd just, I don't know, wait and see till the PET scan. I'm not overly worried, and if I relapse, then, you know, so be it. I pretty much prepared myself for a relapse when I had this biopsy done. Yeah, so PET will be sometime next month, and then I'm going in right now to go have a blood test done, just to check on my bloods. My memory is still absolutely shocking. It's just ridiculous. I could remember something, and then not even a minute later, I will have forgotten what I was currently or previously thinking about. And then I have started some part-time work, which is why I'm wearing a wig. I'm working at the moment as an education assistant in a high school. I've worked at the school 3 days now, and I've got a cold sore, so you can kind of see it. And I think it's really interesting that I've got a cold sore now, and I didn't have one through chemo or radiation, or, you know, any of the time where I was severely immunocompromised, but I have one now, which just baffles me. So usually I get them when I'm stressed, and I don't think I'm stressed. So the only other explanation is the students did it to me. Well, where the hell am I supposed to park? Hey, hope you're well, to, you know, whoever's watching this. So last week I decided to book a hearing test because I feel like ever since chemo finished, my hearing has not been the greatest. It wasn't the best before chemo, but I feel like it's so much worse now after chemo. So anyway, my test is free, and I'm going in now, so I don't know, I'll try to get some footage because I think it's kind of interesting. I've never had a hearing test before and I have no idea what to expect. But yeah, anyway, so having that done now. So that was an interesting experience. You go in and he does like this little interview, not even an interview, just, you know, getting all your basic details, your recent health and why you're in there. And I was just telling him about, you know, the chemo and the radiation and blah blah blah. And he was like, okay, you know, sometimes chemo does affect your hearing. And then he started off by doing this weird like pressure test to see if the your eardrums, the first part, I can't remember how, you've got your ear canal and then something and then the cochlear part. So he was checking that middle part with this pressure thing, and that was really weird. Like it goes in and then he does something which, for those who have been on a plane or, you know, get blocked ears or whatever, it felt like that. And he said they were fine. And then he said, this just tells us that the sound is traveling through. I thought, okay, that's good. And then you go into this little soundproof little box, like I'd say it's a little bit smaller than a meter squared or about that. And I tried to get a little sneaky photo of it, but I was outside and I kind of felt awkward asking if I could take photos. Anyway, and he put little things in my ears, which was connected up to his computer, and then I had a little button thing, and every time I heard a sound I needed to press the button. And then after that he put this other weird thing on my head, almost like a headband thing, I don't know, and again press the button when you hear something. And then the last test was let me know the word you hear, and everything was fine. He was like, very rarely do I have someone come in who's got, you know, normal hearing or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And he said everything was within normal range. And I only got one word wrong, which it was meant to be hide, but I heard fide. But he was saying I'm not like at the lower end of normal, like I'm, you know, in the higher range of normal, if that makes sense. And then he was asking about memory, and I'm like, well, I've not had a very good memory ever, but since chemo it's just been really bad. And then he was asking about my vision, and I was like, that's the next thing I want to do. Because I can still read and I can still see things like that are far away from me, but it's like a little bit fuzzy. I don't know. So that'll be the next thing on my list. And then I suppose whilst I've got you here, I had my bloods done the week before last, I think it was, and all of my bloods were fine. They were all in normal range, except I had 3 high levels in my liver stuff, in my liver function tests. But my heme hasn't spoken to me about any of it, so I'm gonna assume it's okay, or they're not worried about it or whatever. And then as for my PET scan, I'm meant to be having that sometime this month, so it's currently the 8th of June. I was expecting the scan to be around the 19th of June, as that's 3 months from when my last radiation was. Pretty sure it was the 19th of March, anyway, mid-June. So I'm just waiting to hear from there, but I haven't got an appointment booked because one of the machines are broken, so I'm on the wait list for the scan. So that's that. As for work, I've gone back to work. As I mentioned earlier, I'm doing education. I'm an education assistant in a high school. Very different to what I initially thought I'd work with. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit overwhelming and slightly intimidating, but I feel good in terms that I'm out and I'm doing something functional, which is really nice. I've had some of the kids ask, well actually not even ask, they're like, oh, no offense miss, but your hair looks like a wig, or is it a wig? And I'm like, so what if it is? Or, you know, what's the matter if it is? Or I don't know, something like that. It's raining here, I don't know if you can hear the rain. But I forgot what I was gonna say now. Yeah, and some of them are starting to piece together that I am in fact the sister of, you know, the other Miss T that works there. I had one kid in front of the class. There was only about 8 people in the class, but she goes, Miss T, if you're the sister of the other Miss T, does that mean she shaved her head because you're the one that had cancer? And literally my heart, I could feel like beating in my chest. But that was that. And then there are a few students that know, just because they've got some kind of connection to my family outside of school. So yeah, that's really weird, and I still don't feel too comfortable with my own hair. Like, walking around at home, I'm obviously okay, and going out with my other, like, I'm calling them the can fam, you know, the cancer fam that I was going to the gym with. But anyway, like, if I go out with them to their houses, like, I'm fine. But once actually I've gone out, and that was with one of the girls there, and I went out with nothing on my head, which was good, it felt nice. But I don't know, at the school I'm just not quite ready to not have anything on my head. So I'm thinking though, once I've had my scan, and even when everything is clear, I'm thinking then I'll go into work with, I don't know, either some kind of thing on my head or nothing at all. Don't know, we'll see about that. I don't know, like, obviously during all of the treatment and everything, I was very happy to just kind of talk about it, and if you had questions, just to ask me, and I was pretty open. But now that I've kind of finished treatment and am going back into normal life, I don't really want to talk about it with people who didn't know beforehand, if that makes sense. So, you know, all the family and friends that knew, I'm happy to talk to them for the most part. But like the kids at school, I don't know, I'm not quite ready to sit there and have that kind of chat with them. But I don't know, I guess we'll see. I've been having other weird little, since I'm here and rambling anyway, I may as well just keep going. I've been having other really weird, well, not really weird, like they could be, symptoms, I suppose. I've got pains going down the right side of my body, like, and not just, you know, in one part of the body, like my head, my arm, the side of my abdomen, I suppose, kind of, I don't know, like around the back and to the side, down my leg, and it's all on the right side. I don't know, but I wonder, like, what is it? And then when I was getting like the side pains, I thought, okay, maybe it's to do with the liver, because my liver numbers are out of whack. I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear, see what happens. And then I was in the shower the other day, and, you know, feeling around my neck, and I think I can feel a lump over here. And there's not one on the other side, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. I think I'm overreacting, but I've now hit that stage in this cancer experience where I don't think I'm ever gonna have a pain or a symptom or anything without going, is that cancer? So I don't know, I'm thinking I'm just gonna wait till the PET scan, and then obviously if it lights up, it lights up. But, and if it doesn't, then I guess it's nothing to worry about. But anyway, I think that's kind of all the important things, or the things that are relevant to cancer at the moment. And oh yeah, the other thing that's really, I think you can hear it now, is my voice keeps going funny, and I'm not entirely sure what that is either. So there's all these little random things. So I'll just have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, until I have something new to share, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll talk to you later. Hello. Just doing another little like quick check-in in regards to symptoms that are kind of coming back. I still feel like I've got this food stuck in my throat, like I've stuffed my face and it's just sitting in my windpipe. Tiredness the last few days, and I know it's only well, that came on cue, didn't it? I know it's only been a few days, but the fatigue has just come on suddenly. Like noticeably, I'm more exhausted and tired and just constantly yawning, and I don't know, that's odd. And then last night, about an hour after I ate dinner, I threw up. So I don't know if that kind of has anything to do with it, and I don't know if it's going to be a continuous thing. But yeah, that was a first. And for the last couple of days, I've felt quite nauseous. That all sounds really weird, put together. And I don't feel sick in terms of cold or like I've eaten something bad and I feel sick. But yeah, just another little thing of random symptoms. I still haven't heard anything about my PET scan. I don't know if I've mentioned before, but my hands are still really dry. Oh, Hazel put a sticker on me. The camera isn't doing it any justice. But anyway, this is my hair. Very ridiculous. I feel like I am a sheep. At work yesterday, I openly admitted to one of the kids that I am indeed wearing a wig. I was helping him with his work, and as I looked up, his eyes kind of went well, it went from like hair down to my eyes kind of thing. I don't know how to portray that on this, but anyway, I was like, what's wrong? What are you looking at? Are you looking at my hair? And he's like, nah. And then we just kind of went on with our work, and I went and helped another kid, and I came back and he was looking at my hair again, and I was like, what, am I receding? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, is my wig, is it going backwards? And he goes, what? I was like, you know, and he goes, are you wearing a wig? I was like, obviously. And he kind of like nudges to his friend. He's like, see, I told you. And anyway, then we were just having this little chat. He was like, take it off. I was like, no. And he goes, why not? And I said, because my hair is about the length of your hair. And funnily enough, the guy that I was talking to had quite curly hair as well. And he was like, so just take it off. I was like, no, I'm also wearing a wig cap under this, and it takes a little while to get to it or get it done. He was like, really? I'm like, not a long time, but you know, it takes effort. But yeah, that was kind of funny. Anyway, so I had a bit of an interesting few days, and yeah, just I'm looking forward to this lump is still there. Where is it? It's like I can only really feel it when I've got two, like when I've got my hand on this side and this side, and I think maybe it's because it's really deep again, but it feels a little bit like it's protruding up here, just above the scar. Right there. Oh, there we go. There it is. I was in the wrong spot. Every PET scan that I've had has shown up. This part has shown up on the scan. And I assume when they did this biopsy, they took those lymph nodes that were bright out, but I can't help but think, did you take the right ones out? Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and I don't know, see you later. Hey, what just happened?
We didn't know who you were.
Why?
Because you came to pick Hazel up, and we didn't know who you came to pick up.
Yeah, but why didn't she know who I was?
Because you had hair.
Because I had my hair on. That's the second time this has happened. One of the educators at Hazel's daycare was like, who are you here to pick up? And I'm like, Hazel, do I really look that different with hair on? I just thought it was a funny thing to add.
Bye.